Okay, so let's get started with the test scenario on direct ship. So first we should have some on-hand quantity which we will ship out against a sales order. So let's check whether we have sufficient on-hand quantity or not. We can also log into the Telnet application and perform some on-hand quantity. Okay, so I started the MSC application. Let's log in now. I'll use operation welcomes login to log into the MSC application, and I'll just go ahead and quickly create some on-hand quantity in FGI sub-inventory. So let's go ahead and create some on-hand quantity. Mobile, this is the MSCA. So go to warehousing, inventory, receipts, miscellaneous receipts, and BW1. You select a miscellaneous account and then skip the LPN part. I'm using FG1 item code, so it should be upper cap. Which sub inventory? Let's say I'm using FGI. Have a locator. There's only one locator. Create some quantity. Let's say 100, and done. So this transaction is complete. So now you have on-hand quantity. So now we can take up a sales order and start shipping this order using direct ship. So we have to have an order. So let's go to the order management application where we can create a quick sales order for FG1. I just prefer to open this regular sales order screen, just familiarity. Just leave this thing blank. You have to ensure that this warehouse is your own organization, own warehouse which you're working with. Put some shipping method is tied to an organization, so that's why I changed to DHL to something which is assigned to BW1. And then go to the line items. You can also do shift page down as a shortcut, and then punch in your item code. Let's say 10 quantity. Go ahead and book this order. So 66442 is booked. So I'm gonna write that test data here. So the text data is 66442. This is the right one. Let's quickly check. 66442. Perfect. So we are done with this, and next activity would be to perform a sub inventory transfer. If you go back and see, uh, the start point is to start with the sub inventory transfer FGI to a staging lane. So I'll go back to, let's say, receipts transfer. So the navigations are here, transfer. So under inventory you do transfer, and then sub inventory transfer. You don't have LPN, you know the product code from which sub inventory you are transferring. So I'm basically following this FGI to a staging lane. So I'll go ahead and do that FGI. A locator which is part of FGI is this. How much you're transferring? Let's say 10 you're transferring to which sub inventory, to staging sub inventory, and then locator. You have to select a dock door. If you're selecting L1, then again you have to move that L1 to dock door. So I'm directly putting into the dock door in this scenario, and then done. So this transfer is complete. The step 1 is here. So the material is here, but this is in loose condition under STH. So we go ahead and do the packing. This is the step that is required, because in FGI we put everything loose. So let's do the packing quickly. Packing is done under let's say LPN transaction and pack transaction. So let's say on a pack 3, for example, P3 is my LPN code. Staging is the sub inventory where I'm performing the packing. This is the dock door. I know the item FG1, and I know the quantity. It's 10 quantity, and then you can pack this. So P3 is now ready with 10 quantity. I'm gonna click the pack. Transaction is successful. So if you see here now L1 is generated, so I'm gonna just change this to P3 so that it makes sense. Now P3 is part of an LPN which contains 10 quantity. Now the next step would be to go ahead and do the direct ship. I think I've also written all of these elaborated here. So we are kind of here at this point. We transfer the item to a dock door and pack this in LPN. Now if you see the order status, order is still in a booked status, and we don't need to do pick release process. That's why it's called direct is not required. That's why it's called direct ship. So I'm not touching the sales order yet. So I'll go ahead and do the direct direct ship now. Direct ship is available through outbound. So we have to go to the outbound. So I press F2 to go back, and then I have an outbound, and then you go to shipping, and then quick ship, LPN ship, and then if you go 6 number is a direct ship. So the first option is the loading the truck. Loading the truck is equivalent to picking the order. So the order status at this point is awaiting shipping. I can go ahead and verify this. I'll do refresh. Control F11 is still there at the awaiting shipping. Now the activity that I'll perform is the loading of the truck, and the status will move from awaiting shipping to the picked status, and accordingly you will see the delivery line status and everything. At this point, if you want to see the delivery line status, you can go to the awaiting line, and it's hitting at ready to release. There is no delivery that is created yet. So fine, so this is good. So let's go ahead and perform the load truck. So click on the load truck. It will ask for the dock door. So I have the first one, the D1. So I select D1. LPN, I have typed P3 because that's the LPN which is lying in the dock door. Press the down arrow key, provide all of the additional information that you have. You can do that. And this is the main screen where you have to give the order number. So I have already captured the order number, 66442. 66442. How do I know? I can just see here. And then to the down arrow key, it will ask for the line number. You can type in 1.1, and then to the down arrow key, it will now ask you the freight cost, rest of thing, and there's a message also, the whole of the LPN content. You can do Control B to see the message. The whole of the LPN content is consumed, so it's now tied to that particular order. And I'm gonna do next LPN or load or ship. So if I do load and exit, then I get a picked status. Optionally, I can also perform the shipping status. I can do continue and ship. That means the whole process of picking and then shipping will be continued together in one single step. So I'll just go step by step. So I'll do first load, and then watch for the status of the sales order line. So I click on the load and exit. Now LPN P3 is loaded. So I'll go ahead and refresh at this stage the line status. So I'll do Control F11. As you see, the status has changed to pick confirm. You can go to action, additional line information, and you say the delivery number is created, and as if you have done the release sales order and you did perform the transact move order. So those are the details that is here. So this is the step loading, and next step will be the shipping actually. So there is a small thing that we should be very careful. Now we have verified the order status. We are step number 8. At this status, it says that order is picked. Right now, how do we ship the loaded truck? So you have to use the escape and S as a shortcut. So what you have to do is you have to do the load truck one more time and select the same dock door D1 and select the same LPN P3. Before you go, you're already seeing a message at the bottom. If you see Control B, this is not empty, so press any key to continue, and here you can just type P3 and enter. You'll see there is no result found, and then you have escape S window. The moment you escape S, sorry, I just typed in the wrong one, so P3. When you press the escape S, it will appear, a new window will appear. So as you see, after pressing the Control escape S command, its screen goes to the delivery. It recognizes the LPN P3, and accordingly it finds which delivery number it's belong to, and that trick is available using the escape and S command. So you can just press escape S, right? So now I got this delivery screen, and I can enter all of these things additional. I can add shipping methods and all that, and I can do a ship confirmation here. So delivery will be ship confirm, and then then it goes to the trip, and then you can perform the trip confirmation as well. You can directly do trip as well. So let's do the step by step. I do confirm button. So it creates the trip. That's the next step. You can provide other details if you have vehicle number and other thing. You can put the freight cost if you like, and then you have close truck. and save button. If you do the close truck, then this strip will go for the interface and the delivery will be waiting. It will change the status, right? So, but if you just do save, nothing will happen. You just have a trip created, delivery created, and that's it. So I do the close truck in order to ship this out. So I'm gonna click this close truck, and then the standard message, the delivery has submitted, interface trip stop has ran, and all that. So let's quickly see what is happening on the sales order line status. So if I do control F11, it just takes some time and the status should change from picked to the shipped status. At this point, we can also check the shipping transaction screen, what is happening over there. So your order number is 66442. You can just remove any of the line status. So just do that and find it. Still nothing. This is the order. I think 66442. One single two is there. Okay, let's see. 66442. Yeah, that's correct. 442. We have to remove. Right, then we can find. See, that's the interface. So technically, the delivery line is gone. And now at this point, you can see the sales order status. It will change from picked to shipped. Now you run the interface the workflow program that will move the status to shipped to close, workflow background engine. Here we have a few things to watch out. When you go to the delivery, you see it's gone to in transit status. Now you can, if you see why it's in transit, because it's the second leg which is still open, it's not yet closed, it's waiting for drop off. So you can put the actual departure date, actual arrival date, and then the status will move to the arrived, and then you can actually go one more step and perform the closure directly. So these two fields will populate it. You can do this arrival and close the status using the update status. So for example, if we go to go button, you have to select the right line. All right, so and then the go button. So first you do the arrive, so whenever it happens, so now the seconds difference. So 15 was the departure, 43 is arrival, and when you do that, you get this 43 gets populated here, seconds. So it just took some seconds while we are talking, this time is elapsed. And then if you really once the truck has departed from that place, then you can go ahead and choose the close status. And when you choose the close status, that's the time when you actually if you just see, it's gone to the next minute, 7 minutes, and then you can click on OK. Now this column will also get populated. So you see 1643 is the truck arrival time and 1707 is the departure time, and here you get the close status of the delivery. Similarly, you can refresh the trip number, it also got closed. So this is how a direct ship will work in a given situation where you don't need to perform any of the pick release kind of activity. You do sub inventory transfer, you load the truck, that is equivalent to pick confirmation. Then you can close the truck, which is equivalent to ship confirmation. And then you got a delivery in transit, you can close that, and then you can accordingly trip will also be closed. So that's the important part. All of the steps that I did, it's verified here. One of the important aspect is here, which I can mark them red so that you're aware how to flip the screen and verify the trip status. We did that, it was in transit, and then we closed. Now sales order is in shipped status. Once we run the workflow backend program, the shipped status will move to the closed status. That's the standard order processing, nothing to do with the direct ship. So this completes the direct ship testing. I hope you can do further testing on this. Thank you very much.